What if I were to tell you that if you encountered real love, it would blow your fucking mind, scare the shit out of you, and you would run the other way? Furthermore, what if I were to tell you that this intense, passionate, fiery, angry, sad, fucking narcissistic, love bombing, blah, blah, blah that you're in, that hurts so much, as almost as much as it feels good, you're in it because it's comforting? What if I were to tell you that? Well, let's start with the second one. The reason that we so often in our 20s and 30s choose relationships that are so ferociously intense, where there's as much pain as there is love, it seems, is not only because that's what's sold in movies and radio and shit like that, but because that's what was familiar to us from childhood. That the primary love sources in our life, mother and or father, taught us that by their example, by the home that you grew up in, that that's what love is. And so that became familiar. So you became a fucking expert at walking on eggshells. You became an expert at stuffing down your feelings because the most important person in the family insisted on it, right? So you're just gonna walk into a relationship where the rules are exactly the same because it's what you've always known, right? And that's why 20 years down the road, somebody says, fuck, I married my dad, or fucking hell, I married my mom. Holy shit, exactly. It was familiar. You just walked into a new situation in which the love was precisely the same as when you were growing up. And it's comforting. It's the same reason you go to the same pizza joint. Sure, the food's good, but it's familiar, right? It's the same reason you have the same ritual in the morning. It's familiar every day before you go to work, right? Okay, so then the other side of it, this notion of, well, what if real love came along? It would be boring to you. Yes, it would, because it would blow your mind, because real love, by the time we get to 40, generally, we're like, okay, I'm over all the fucking craziness of the rage and the anger and the sadness. And that's why so many people will get their divorces, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. It's because I'm so over that shit. That's not love. That's not my idea of love. Exactly. And that's very often why we pass by the nice guys and the nice young women when we're young. It's because it's boring and it's unfamiliar and it's scary as shit. You wouldn't know how to operate in your fucking 20s or 30s. You wouldn't know how to operate if we're actually in love without the craziness. You wouldn't know how to operate if you didn't have to walk on eggshells, or if your feelings weren't being minimized, or if you weren't being hit or taken advantage of or neglected. It would scare the shit out of you because it's so fucking unfamiliar. So is it possible that your notions of love are based on shitty notions that you're choosing simply because they're familiar? And is it possible that this isn't love to begin with, and it isn't what you really want deep down? Have a kick-ass day.